The Carpigiani Ready Batch Freezer will require regular cleaning and sanitization. These operations must be carried out at the end of each production run to guarantee consistent production quality and adherence to all necessary hygienic standards. Giving any dirt or residue time to dry out can greatly increase the risk of rings, marks, and damage to freezing cylinder and beater surfaces. Due to the possibility that some ingredients containing acid and saline substances can corrode these surfaces as well, the cleaning and sanitizing process are best done immediately after use. We also recommend a prolonged soaking. After the last batch is extracted, you will want to begin the cleaning procedure by filling the cylinder with rinse water. Allow the machine to soak while you prepare a wash sink with cleaning solution. Now locate the cleaning button on your touchpad display. Pressing this button will offer you the cleaning options of Clean, Hot Clean, and Dry Clean. These options are selectable by using the increase or decrease arrows on the touchpad after pressing the cleaning button. We will use Hot Clean. We now let the machine run for 1 minute. After the hot clean cycle has run, we will place a catch container under the extraction door and remove the rinse water. We will then refill the cylinder with rinse water and use the cleaning button to choose just the clean function. This will activate the beater for 1 minute. After the clean cycle has run, we will place a catch container under the extraction door and remove the rinse water. These last two steps of clean rinse and rinse water removal may be repeated until the water is coming out clear. You can now open the door and remove the beater. This is done by pulling the beater assembly toward you while using 2 hands to guide it out. Take care not to let the beater drop against the cylinder, as this can damage the surface. With the beater removed, place it on a table so that you can remove the beater seal from the back of the beater assembly, and also remove all of the self-adjusting scrapers by pulling them loose from the beater assembly. Each self-adjusting scraper will need to be completely disassembled by removing both O-rings and both springs from each one. Gather all parts of the beater assembly together and using your prepared wash sink, thoroughly clean and scrub all parts with the brushes provided. Place all parts of the beater assembly together and sanitize. You will now need to remove the spigot door. This is done by lifting up on the spigot door while it is open and freeing it from the open hinge on the left-hand side of the spigot door. With the spigot door free of the machine, lay it on a table for disassembly. The splash guard may be removed by holding the splash guard with one hand while pulling the retaining pin out of the spigot door with the other. Once the retaining pin is clear of the spigot door, you may lift the splash guard out of the spigot door and set it aside. To remove the extraction door, you will first rotate the retaining lever to loosen the extraction door and then raise the extraction door up to expose the O-ring under the retaining lever. Remove the O-ring under the retaining lever and then lower the extraction door until it comes free of the spigot door. With the extraction door free of the spigot door, remove the O-ring from the back of the extraction door. Now you can turn the spigot door over and remove the door seal from the back of the spigot door. Gather all parts of the spigot door assembly together and using your prepared wash sink, thoroughly clean and scrub all parts with the brushes provided. Place all parts of the spigot door assembly together and sanitize. Next, you will need to remove the dispense chute from beneath the cylinder by turning it counterclockwise and pulling it toward you. Using your prepared wash sink, thoroughly clean and scrub all parts with the brushes provided. Sanitize the chute. To reassemble the machine, we will begin by gathering all the pieces of the beater assembly together and placing them back together. Both springs and both O-rings of the adjustable scrapers need to be reinstalled and the exposed portion of the O-rings lubricated. When lubricating any O-ring or seal on the Carpigiani Ready Batch Freezer, it is not necessary to use excessive amounts of lubricant. If you can see smear marks in the film of lubrication from the passage of your finger over it, then you have sufficient lubrication. With the O-rings properly lubricated, you may press the self-adjusting scrapers back into their seats in the beater assembly. Next, you will need to lubricate the interior portions of the beater seal and place it back onto the rear of the beater assembly. With the beater assembly completely together, you may reinstall it back into the machine by sliding it back into the cylinder using both hands. Now we will need to reassemble the spigot door. We will begin by reinstalling the O-ring on the back of the extraction door and lubricating it. Next, we will reinsert the retaining lever back into the extraction door and slide them back onto the spigot door, raising them far enough to expose the seat of the retaining lever O-ring. Now we can install the retaining lever O-ring and lube the exposed portion. We can now move on to the splash guard. Seat the splash guard back inside the spigot door and slide the retaining pin back through both the spigot door and the splash guard securing holes. At this point, we need to turn the spigot door over and reinstall the spigot door seal and lube the exposed portion. With the spigot door fully assembled, you may return it to the machine and lower it onto the open hinge on the left-hand side of the spigot door. Finally, we will need to place a dispense chute back in place on the front of the machine and lock it in place by turning it clockwise. With the machine fully reassembled, you may complete the sanitizing operation. First, you will need to mix your sanitizing solution as directed by the manufacturer, then fill the cylinder with the solution. With the cylinder filled, you will press the Clean button and allow the clean process to activate the beater for 1 minute. Next, you will allow the sanitizing solution to sit in the cylinder for the length of time recommended by the manufacturer. This should be at least 5 minutes. When this soak time has expired, you may place a catch receptacle under the dispense chute and drain out all the sanitizing solution possible. If these steps have been properly followed, your machine is now clean and sanitized and is safe to leave until your next production run. Do remember that prior to your next production run, you will want to carry out the sanitizing operation again before loading the machine with mix to be certain that any airborne bacteria that have entered the cylinder in the meantime are eliminated. Button functions. Stop. When this button is pressed, it sets the machine to stop mode and the red LED is turned on. The display shows stop. After 3 minutes, the display's backlighting turns off and remains off until any key is pressed. Cleaning button. This button allows the cleaning mode to be entered. If cleaning button is pressed, the display shows the possible cycle choices with the chosen cycle designated by an asterisk. Use the increase and decrease keys to select the desired function and press OK to activate it. The available functions are Clean, Hot Clean, Dry Clean, Clean. In this function, only the beater is activated and slow speed is enabled for 1 minute. Then the machine automatically stops in order to avoid the excessive wear of cylinder and beater. The display shows the timer counting down on the top line and the beater speed on the bottom line. Press the increase key to enable the quick beater speed. It is possible to return to the slow beater speed by pressing the decrease key. Hot Clean. The low speed beater and heating are enabled for 1 minute. It is possible to change the high speed beater by pressing the increase arrow. Dry Clean. Heating alone is activated for 1 minute. Increase arrow. This button allows you to increase the values that can be edited for those functions where this is permitted. For example, to change the freezing timer. It also allows changing the beater speed in the cleaning and extraction functions. Decrease arrow. This button allows you to decrease the values that can be edited for those functions where this is permitted. For example, to change the freezing timer. It also allows changing the beating speed in the cleaning and extraction functions. This button also acts as a reset button for any alarm messages. OK. If pressed when viewing the menus, this button starts up the selected cycle. It is also used during cycles to confirm that ingredients have been introduced or to confirm the continuing of a process after the stop button has been pressed. Finally, it allows you to skip to the next phase of a cycle by holding it down for a prolonged period during a pause, timer, or in the heating phase. Water delivery. This button can be used in any function. The LED is turned on and water delivery is activated for a fixed time of 3 minutes or until stop or the water delivery key are pressed. Gelato production. By pressing the gelato production key, the display shows the possible cycle choices with the chosen cycle designated by an asterisk. Use the increase and decrease keys to move the asterisk to select the desired cycle. The available cycle choices are gelato, gelato fruit, slush fruit, cool, and standby. Press OK to activate the selected cycle. Gelato DF production. By pressing the dry filling gelato production key, the display shows the possible cycle choices with the chosen cycle designated by an asterisk. Use the increase and decrease keys to move the asterisk to select the desired cycle. The available cycle choices are gelato DF, gelato fruit DF, gelato milk, gelato hot DF, gelato fruit hot DF, gelato milk hot. Press OK to activate the selected cycle. Gelato hot. By pressing the gelato hot production key, the display shows the possible cycle choices with the chosen cycle designated by an asterisk. Press OK to activate the selected cycle. In these cycles, when the temperature in the cylinder reaches 104 Fahrenheit, a warning hot message is displayed, alternating with the set temperature. Extraction. The function is available in gelato and fruit gelato cycles only. In this function, the LED turns on, the slow beater speed of the motor is activated, and the display shows a timer countdown. Press stop or wait 3 minutes to stop the beater. From the extraction mode, it is possible to access the cooling extraction function by pressing the gelato production key. If this is chosen, the production LED turns on for a fixed 20 seconds. At the end of this 20-second timer, the machine automatically sets back to its basic extraction mode unless the 3 total minutes of extraction have already lapsed, in which case the machine sets to stop. Press the increase key to activate the quick beater speed. To enable the slow beater speed again, press the decrease key.